Hey guys, I'd like to talk to you about insulation today. So, the appeal of insulation is almost obvious. Um, it keeps the cold or the heat out of the structure. This lowers energy costs that would otherwise be used to condition that space. It can prevent cold areas or spots in a home or office, and generally lowers maintenance costs due to there not being great fluctuations in the heat and cold of a structure. And depending on the climate that the structure is at, it may be necessary just for that structure to really be habitable. Um, you can calculate your insulation value using the R value system. Um, and this is really just the rating system that shows the resistance to heat or cold that a particular insulation has. If you have multiple layers of insulation, you simply add those two R values. So it's a pretty simple system. Functionality. So there's three ways with which heat and cold travel: conduction, convection, and radiation. So conduction's how energy moves through materials, such as a spoon placed in hot coffee. The spoon becomes hot. Convection is how heat moves through liquids and gases. This is kind of the hot air always rises to the top of a house. If you've ever been in the second story of a home, you'll always notice it's a bit warmer than the first story. And then radiant heat is how heat travels in a straight line and heats anything solid in its path that absorbs its energy. So by placing insulation around a home, you can prevent exterior radiant heat from traveling inside of the home. This is typically done on the back side of a bat or roll of fiberglass insulation. Also, if you do foam spray in insulation, oftentimes you'll see like a foil applied to the backside of 2x4s before the drywall gets applied. And that basically reflects that radiant heat back outside, or in a cold situation, it reflects that heat back inside. Conduction, that's what the majority of insulation fights against. And that really, it prevents that energy transfer from cold to hot by being placed in the walls. So structural integrity. So wood and steel building members expand and contract with heat and cold in relation to the coefficient of the thermal expansion. This can cause structural issues like cracked concrete or fatigue in structural components. So insulation ultimately allows a building to maintain a more regulated temperature, so you don't see these wide variations of heat and cold. Durability. There are a number of different insulation types. Various materials are used. Some are not very durable. For instance, that radiant foil system I was describing a minute ago, it's easily cut or torn. But there are other insulations like the spray-in foam, the spray polyurethane foams. They have a 30-year track record in some of the harshest environments and are very durable. It's definitely something to take into consideration whenever you're applying an insulation or radiant system that's not very durable. Reactions and relationships. So I think probably the most widely known reaction would be insulation that uses fiberglass. If you've ever worked with fiberglass, you know that it is very irritable. If it gets on your skin, you can you start becoming extremely itchy within a couple of minutes. So it's important that when working with insulation, use proper PPE, long sleeves, long pants, gloves, mask, glasses. But despite it being an irritant, according to a National Academy of Sciences report, it has led to no known cases of respiratory cancer. So that's a good thing, but you should still use a mask. And here are my citations. And that is it. Thank you. Have a good day.